Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have stories about social media influencers. Now, I personally don't know any, but I do hear that they're pretty annoying, that they're scammers, but I do assume that some are good people. Photographers of Reddit, what is the most outrageous photo shoot request you have received from an Instagram influencer?
I had a girl contact me to do a suicide girl's photo shoot. I gave her my rates and she got back with,
"Oh, I don't have that much, but isn't it enough that you get to see my tits?"
Ha! Tits. Whoop-de-freaking-do. Are they made out of money or something?
What's the monetary value of silicon?
Well, it depends on how much voltage it can handle.
Oh, my bad. Today I learned that silicon and silicone are two completely different things.
Hey dude, you should have been like,
"Oh, I just checked with my bank, and unfortunately they don't accept tit pics as payment for my mortgage. Sorry."
Someone asked me to shoot her entire wedding, a full day, an engagement photo shoot underwater, since I do underwater photography as well, and also to do some honeymoon shots, and all in all for the quote-unquote exposure. I straight up said, no, politely, and she kicked off in a patronizing way. Ahem. Don't you know who I am? Do you know what this could do to your career? She had about 10,000 followers less than I did, and I don't even do weddings as I had pointed out, so it wasn't even in my best interest, even if she had millions of followers. Oh, and also, a so-called influencer guy asked me to do a nude photo shoot for him, for free. I declined, but wished him luck. He then sent me a dick pic. I reported him.
Ha! The influencer with less influence than you, that's rich.
Yup. I don't understand.
That's because they offered you exposure to a different, and obviously more valuable demographic, don't you get it? They were just better than you.
Ha! The dick pic made me chuckle, like what's the point of it? I once worked in a tech call center and a guy sent multiple shots of his naked body while holding a katana.
If you're holding a katana, you're not naked, you are being kept warm by your discipline in Bushido and wrapped by the honor of your ancestors.
You, sir, have dishonored a warrior with your claims of nakedness. You hereby must take your Sunday paper and commit the Sudoku.
I have a friend who bought a private jet for extremely cheap at auction in LA a little over 5 years ago. Like 1/15 of the sticker price cheap. He's a mechanic who did very well with investments and figured it would be a fun project. Immediately after he bought it though, some money issues came up and he had to put the project on the back burner. Instead of fixing it to working order, all he did was remodel the interior to look essentially like a brand new jet. About 3 years ago, after getting request upon request for photo shoots when people would find out he had a jet, he started charging people to take pictures on it, and next to it, my dude charges $1.5K per hour for access to his private jet, and it hasn't left the runway in the 5 years he's bought it. He gets reliable bookings 2 to 3 times a week. These people bring fake alcohol bottles and fake food, have their friends dress up as in-flight chefs, servers, pilots, and masseurs, and post all of it as if they're living the jet-setting lifestyle. It's funny but also really sad. My dude calls it one of the better investments he's ever made though, and has discussed making it into some sort of scaled business.
This is why social media is all so fake. My biggest gripe is people constantly comparing their lives to others and thinking the grass is greener on the other side. They don't realize how staged these lives are.
This is why I deleted Facebook. I compared my life with all its ups and downs, to the perfection of everyone else's posts, and it became depressing. I'm much happier now.
I also had a quote-unquote influencer try to set up a photo shoot with me. When I mentioned my price, she was shocked and said,
Ha!
I was under the impression that you were going to be the one paying me.
I've been there too. I work at a hotel and it's unfreaking believable how many of these dipshits want to stay for free in exchange for a post. Our marketing research shows they have almost a zero return on investment.
Ask them to pay full price, but that you'll give them discount vouchers for their followers to redeem at your hotel, and they will be reimbursed based on the number of vouchers redeemed. Easy to tell and control your ROI there.
Wow. Do you influence the influencers?
I've heard about that even the people with over 1 million followers have very little ROI. I wonder why that is.
As it turns out, people with smaller numbers, micro-influencers, sort of say, tend to have a better ROI. Like one of the cities I live in, Dallas. We've found that 10 food bloggers with over 1,000 but under 10,000 followers that are largely local can be somewhat effective. The key is, their followers have to be from the area, and they need to prove they have engagement, a nice photo of the food and a plug for
15% off next Tuesday.
when the majority of their followers live nearby. It can actually work. When someone has 1 million followers, but they're scattered across the world, and of various incomes and cultures, then it's way too hard to effectively target their followers. It's too shotgun of an approach.
There's also a huge difference between a restaurant and a hotel. If I follow a food blogger, I might go get lunch because they gave a shout out, especially for a coupon, but a hotel? Even ignoring the fact that they're probably featuring niche, expensive places, that's a pricey thing that I'm not going to decide because of an Instagram post.
It can also work for boutique hotels too though, like we have a contract with one that specializes as a romantic getaway type place. Micro-influencers can work well for that situation. Like Valentine's Day is coming up and one of the campaigns has been essentially,
Stay here on Valentine's Day? Why pay flights and all that other crap when all this luxury is right next door?
it's even done well enough to warrant an expansion. Local bookings have been up compared to last year's. I imagine even a large hotel could do the same if they wanted to target their local community.
A few years back I was in Acadia National Park and we did the Beehive Trail hike. For those unfamiliar, it's basically as close to rock climbing as you can get, non-harnessed, since you are going straight up a cliff on iron rungs and stuff. It's super fun and you are rewarded with an amazing view at the top. Most people take a quick snap there at the lip, as most do at the peak of their hike, and then move on to the more rocky area, but less of a nice view, to rest. Anyway, while we were there resting, 2 Instagram girls got to the top, and promptly took over the best view of the lip to take various yoga poses, because that was totally a natural thing to do after scrambling up a cliff. For at least 10 minutes, families were coming up asking if they could take a picture, but they literally said,
We were here first.
and
Yeah. We're gonna be here a while.
when they were asked if they were almost done. We ended up leaving before they were done, but it still boils my blood thinking about it.
Are you kidding? I would have just photobombed all the pictures until they left. I can't stand people like that.
I did this at Sears Tower in Chicago. We paid $20 to go on the ledge, and I will be damned if some Instagram models are going to take over a ledge for themselves.
I saw something similar in Iceland. This one couple stood front and center on a waterfall for a whole 30 minutes, while they tried to take the perfect photo of her jumping in front of it. Luckily I was done taking photos, attempting to actually be a photographer, but it still boiled my piss. Another one was at the plane crash in Iceland that you're not supposed to climb on. 2 couples got there, straight up on the wings to take hundreds of photos of each other, blocking like 40 people's photos, even people that were there before, and then had the cheek to ask me to move out of their photos. I may have spent the next 20 minutes having too much fun photobombing all their pics.
Here's an idea to get back at these hacks. First, act all interested. Oh, how very cool, you guys look great, what are your Instagrams? Then take photos/videos of them posing around, and pan around to include the big crowd waiting their turns. Post it around your own socials captioned, "Check out, at the yoga_chicks being entitled buttheads, and not letting anyone else have a turn." Then profit, I presume.
Dude, I would subscribe to a subreddit dedicated to this.
I have a friend who owns a popular bar. He has signs up discreetly saying, "There is a $100 upcharge if you are an influencer and ask for comps." He literally charges people $100 if they ask him to comp the check because they will mention him on social media. So far he says he hasn't gotten a single chargeback from a credit card company when he's done it. I think he has only done it a few times with particularly obnoxious people.
I got invited to a friend's wedding as a guest. Then when the wedding was a few weeks away, I posted on Facebook about some arm surgeries. They messaged me asking if I could still shoot photos. I could not, and they uninvited me. I was never asked to shoot photos, just invited as a guest. Perhaps they assumed I'd bring my camera. I'm a hobbyist, not a pro.
Professional photographer here. This isn't really outrageous in terms of what they wanted to do in a photo, but I would say 90% of so-called influencers who contact me try to use tagging as the form of payment.
Well, I have 100,000 followers, so you're guaranteed to get so much work from this. So yeah. You would be an idiot to say no.
This is word for word what one woman said to me when I politely informed her of my rates. Paying artists in exposure is nothing new, but the level of entitlement I'm seeing these days is off the charts. The only thing I can ever guarantee from these interactions is that they will throw a massive tantrum when I say no, complete with some classic r/nice girls lines like,
"Guess what?
Your shit isn't even that good. I was honestly trying to do you a favor.
Etc. Another person contacted me saying that she gets paid X amount of dollars from companies per post, thus every post she makes using my photograph should count for X amount of dollars paid to me because
so many people will see it and you will pretty much be famous.
I can't even follow that logic. She's going to be making X amount of dollars from your photos, so you should be happy not being paid. I'm guessing you said no.
Haha, definitely said no. She meant that each tagged post from her is worth X dollars, what companies paid her for promoting the products. Thus each time she tagged me in a post using one of my photos it should count as her paying me that amount, as if she were promoting me in the same way. And just to add, and answer some of the common responses I got, yes, I do my best to explain how the process actually works, that exposure isn't a form of payment, etc. This has varying degrees of success, but a lot of the time they end up paying my rates anyways, but still say something like,
Oh well. Never know if you don't ask, right? Lol.
And no, I don't ever respond with sarcastic or snarky comments. You never know when someone will go off the rails and start badmouthing you on the platform. Screenshots are a thing and word of mouth is a huge part of getting new clients. Yes, it would be immensely satisfying to lay into some of these people, but an out of context screenshot with some victim story behind it can be extremely damaging, so it's always better to err on the side of caution. I honestly appreciate all the suggestions for counter-offers and ways of dealing with these people. There are some seriously smart answers here. Bravo Reddit. I don't let anyone take advantage of me or my business, and managing client expectations is just part of the job. Cheers for all the awesome responses.
That sucks. I had a former friend basically ruin our friendship when she tried to become an influencer. It also put me off doing photography for a long time. Basically, I did several photo shoots at next to nothing, or nothing. Because she was my friend, she always wanted all the photos edited and turned around in 1 to 2 days. I had a full-time job. One time she promised payment, then suggested she would buy me dinner instead, then at dinner said,
I'm on a budget, so try to keep it at $25 max, for both of us.
After she'd gained a bit of a following and was getting free clothes from a few big name brands, she not only stiffed me, and/or wanted it very cheap, and promised exposure, she then conveniently forgot to tag me on Instagram and/or her blog like 5 to 6 times, just using my photos. I asked her to edit it and she was always like,
Oh my god, yeah, sorry I forgot.
Yet, somehow never forgot to tag the brands that gave her free clothes. Then one of the clothes brands shared one of the photos that never had a tag, and I saw it in my own Explore page on Instagram, not via tag. I reached out to them and basically said it was my photo, please tag. I'd be happy to work with them on photo shoots in the future, and they were really positive about it, etc. When I told my friend about this, she grilled me about the woman's response to me offering them photo shoots and then hardly spoke to me after. A few months later she took me out to lunch to tell me,
I have an influencer photo shoot opportunity coming up and I can't miss it, so yeah, I can't make it to your wedding. Oops.
We'd been friends for 10 years and I was just glad to be done with her at that point.
I'm not a photographer, but I sell rocks, crystals, obelisks, palm stones, etc., to fund a small animal sanctuary. I've been asked by a few people to borrow my inventory of rocks to do photo shoots for. None of them offered to pay, and they wanted me to lug 1,000 pounds of rocks to their location and set them all up, all out of the kindness of my heart. I would have taken $50 or $100 for an entire day's photo shoot, to be honest, but really?
That's sweet of you. Please keep doing what you're doing.
Also not a photographer, but I recently got back from the Dominican Republic, and while there, a girl spent roughly 40 minutes sitting on a paddleboard and standing in the ocean striking new poses for what I can only assume was her Instagram. The time invested in being artificially genuine is sickening.
Similar experience. I was on the beach and I watched a couple spend the entire afternoon trying to get the perfect shot for her IG or whatever. She would paddle out, then make some kind of wacky yoga pose while her boyfriend took the pictures, then she would paddle back in, and yell at him for taking shitty photos, lather, rinse, repeat. They did this for hours.
Instagram travelers are weird. I was in Kings Canyon National Park a couple years ago and stopped at a waterfall along the scenic road, grabbed my lunch and sat by the catch pool for a bit, just enjoying the scenery. While I was there, an Asian girl in a bikini walked up being trailed by 3 dudes, 2 of them with cameras. She goes straight to a rock sticking out of the pool in the shallows and they spent 20 minutes taking pictures of her doing different poses on the rock. The dude without a camera, I assume her boyfriend, joined her for some of them, then they left. Despite her swimsuit, she didn't get in the water any longer than it took to step to the rock. She never even turned to face the waterfall. They were only there for pictures.
Photography has got to be one of the least respected careers. If it's not people trying to get photographs taken for free, it's every person who buys a DSLR kit at Costco thinking,
"Oh, I'm a photographer now,"
and expecting to get paid to take pictures.
Photography, music, art. Basically, anything that seems fun to do to the uninitiated.
Thanks for watching. Guys, if you liked the video, please leave a like for the algorithm. And be sure to check out my other videos. And if you didn't, let me know in the comment section. Alright, till next time.